this is me reacting to what you said. And I think that a lot of people my age are going to react the same way. But I love that we talked that through because you're right. And more people need to date like that.
And now for something completely different.
Welcome to
Surrounded by Idiots
Radio Podcast.
All right, everybody, hold on to your Lululemons. It's time for the Surrounded by Idiots Radio Podcast with your hosts, Dr. Who's the one's been smoking, me or you? Dr. Tony Dufresne and the lovely Lexi Rodriguez from beautiful smoking San Diego, California. I threw it to you. You said, what do you want to talk about? And I said, I want to talk about one thing. I want to talk about the worst dating advice ever.
Everyone's always asking their friends or their family or these people who have no idea what situation they're in, what they should do.
Worst dating advice ever is just be yourself. In theory, that's a great idea to be yourself. You know, you're just yourself and you're authentic and you're there, which is, but nobody is on the first date. In getting that advice from somebody, what people do when they go out on dates is they think, okay, I have to be my witty self, or I have to be my obnoxious self, or I have to be, I'm the class clown, so I got to be a joker. So
or I got to be what I put my little clever saying as.
Right.
On my
so I'm just going to be a smart ass the whole time. When you go to meet somebody, the best possible thing to do is just be present with the person and be attentive to the person and just enjoy yourself. Think of it as this is a new experience and you're with somebody new and you're excited to be with them and just share your excitement that you're there with them and share the experience with them instead of having it in your head that you have to perform.
There's a balance. So you're right. When two entities are coming together to sit at a table and be on a date and chat back and forth, you can't be 100% yourself because there's not enough room at the table. You have to let the other person have time to sit in who they are and receive what you're throwing their way and kind of counteract that time.
A lot of stuff happens on the first date. It's a very overwhelming experience. You've got somebody there. You have an entity in front of you that you're interested in. You hope they're interested in you, and you're trying to figure stuff out, and you're trying to make it go smoothly, and you're trying to create an environment to where both of you can interact back and forth to where you have some fun and you create a chemistry together. And the worst thing you can do is to crowd all that out with a thought in your head about I have to do something, or I have to be something, or I have to be myself. Which actually, in essence, is really not yourself. It's just ego stuff.
I love that.
And that's why that's the biggest problem. The problem is you crowd all the other stuff out about being attentive and being a good listener and being focused and being aware and being there for the person. And you crowd that out, and then you start putting on the Lexi show.
At 25, when I was dating, I definitely was still trying to figure it out. And there were times where I probably just chatted the room out. That's how I handled being nervous. Mm-hmm. And now, what's funny is I've noticed, and I've really tried to work on that, is the past 2 years as someone dating and getting to know new people, even friends, even making new friends. And it's funny is I'm the quiet one. I'm the introvert. And that's why I have the saying, I'm the most introverted extrovert you'll ever meet, because I've learned, and it's definitely worked for me, to just shut up and be quiet and listen. But you know what? It's worked for me and what I'm analyzing at that moment. But I get shit all the time from people you're too quiet. Why aren't you socializing? You're socially awkward. I'm I'm just being quiet and trying to let you guys make all the moves.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's funny. It's what do you guys want from me? Do you want me to shut up, or do you want me to fucking steal the show?
People get uncomfortable when other people are not talking and they call you an enigma. But you will have the best day of your life if you sit back and ask them questions and have them expand on stories, and then dab a little bit in it. Don't go too deep, but just dab a little bit in what's going on, and their interests and their passions. Just get them to talk about their passion. Because what happens is there's from a psychological standpoint, there's a positive association to experience. If you establish some level of a positive memory and you're there in the positive memory, it's going to be of your benefit in the long run. At least to get a second date and to expand.
Oh, I love that piece of advice.
So that's my 2 cents. Just don't, the worst piece is just to be yourself, which means put on the you show. Don't put the you show on. Just be present for the other person. That's all.
So let me throw this out there. It's just, I love that advice. But when you just said that, it just made me think about this. So when you share your passion And if this is your true passion, it's something you're thinking about all the time. It's something you're putting your blood, sweat, sleep, and tears into because you're trying to create this passion. And this can go towards all those entrepreneurs out there that are trying to balance creating a business with dating, with being healthy, with all these things that we're trying to balance. So when someone asks me or asks someone on a date and they want to talk about my passion, to me it's almost like sex on a first date. Like I'm kind of like, whoa, dude, it's only been 20 minutes, and because to me that's like my baby. Like I'm developing this business or this idea or whatever I'm trying to give back to the community from like my heart and soul.
How do you feel about him asking you to share it though?
I think it's rad. Okay. You're right. It just popped in my head like,
right.
Damn, I would get a little bit like,
but you can choose how deep to go.
No, you're right. And I love it. I think this is me reacting to what you said. And I think that a lot of people my age are going to react the same way. But I love that we talked that through because you're right. And more people need to date like that because, a lot of people don't. A lot of people just go on a date. I mean, me in a lot of my dating life was like, I was stoked to meet someone and he was good looking and we always had good conversation and we laughed and had fun, but we never got too deep. And you know what? Those relationships never went anywhere, clearly. So it's like we'd go on a date, we'd have casual talk, we'd, drink margaritas until we were making out, and then boom, you made it.
The magic
you showed
formula.
up right, you showed up sober, you got a couple of drinks, finally he kissed you, maybe he's into you, maybe you're into him, maybe it's gonna end in great sex. I get it. But if you're not talking passion, is it gonna go farther than just the intimacy?
Well, it depends. I mean, it has to go there sooner or later, right? Because it's really about you show your true colors when and how you ask questions or how you don't ask.
One of the worst pieces of dating advice I hear, like, don't have sex on the first date, maybe even don't kiss. It's weird. It's like this weird age range that I'm in where girls have probably gone through the phase. So now those same girls are at this point or at this age that they're contemplating. It's like a real thing. They're contemplating whether they should be intimate with this dude on the first date.
You go with the flow, and if you want to, fine. If you don't, you don't. Most of the time, it's all depending upon the person and how they were brought up and their ideals at the time that something happens. I mean, some people go out and they have a very different opinion on sex than other people. I've found that the more aware you are, the more empowered you become, and then the more empowered you become, the more sex it's not as strong as of a force. All you do is you go in and say, this feels good, let's make this happen, or this, or or it just doesn't feel right in the moment in this context because I want to see this person again, or I just want a little something more. I want to go deeper in terms of this being this time of life, or I just want to hit some.
Totally.
And so
I have
depends.
one more if we have time for it. I know you're trying to make these little mini shows. I'll just say it really quick. You know this saying that leaves people single forever, I feel like, is you'll meet someone when you least expect it. If you want a dude, you think about what type of dude you want. You think about how you want to feel when you meet this guy, where you want to be, what do you want to be wearing, like what perfume do you want to have on, and you exude sexy, like I'm ready to meet a dude. I guarantee in that week or in the next couple weeks, just because you're walking around with a little confidence because you put a little extra makeup on because you want to meet a dude and you're not pretending you don't want to meet a dude, you will meet someone.
So you can go to the website, you can get all this fun stuff.
Check out crucialawareness.com. Rate and review our show. SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Rate and review. Email us. Let's hang.
And have a good week. And